Is there some type of formula to the way you ask questions?
This is my story I got for the week. That ain't good enough.
So they putting a battery in their back.
Sometimes.
Why would you ask me that, sir? You see it on my face. I'm upset, and you making me more upset with that question.
People at home want to hear from you, so they have to ask you that question. Y'all need to do a better job of identifying what media member is there for you.
If you actually connect face to face and put out your personality through this person's story, it could take you a long way.
One got the numbers, one let the game on. Two different voices, never the same. Mic on fire when the truth collides. It ain't just one story, must be two sides. Must be two sides.
So that's one thing I want to ask you, bro. Like, is there some type of formula to the way you ask questions or how you should ask questions? Or are these people just coming out of left field with, hey, man, hey, if I could trip them up here, I could get some. Is it coming from the top down? Are your producers telling you, hey, go get something for me this week? Or how are you guys formulating these questions that just seem like, why would you ask me that, sir? Like, I know what you're doing.
It really depends, Cole. It really depends where you are. Because, like, you could work for a network that be like, all right, this is my story I got for the week. That ain't good enough. Like, I need you to dig a little deeper. Like, I need you to peel back a layer. Like, we were taught in journalism, like.
So they putting a battery in their back.
Sometimes, depending on where you are. Like, because some places will tell you, like, storytelling is like an onion. Every time you peel back a layer, you want to be able to feel something. You want your readers at home, your viewers at home to feel something every time you peel a layer back, whether that's your questioning or your storytelling. And then there's guys like myself, guys that have played the game, guys that have been around guys at the highest of level, and you kind of understand what they went through in that situation. And you know, I'm not going to ask him that question after this game, but I may ask him that question off mic. Like, I may go do it when the camera's not rolling, but when the camera like, I like to introduce myself to all the guys in town. First, I like to say, look, there's not many black people in town like me. Like, so one, we relate in ways that every other journalist here doesn't. Okay. Secondly, I play the game. So it's like, you know what? I know what you've been through. Like, I was a walk-on in college.
That's something you say off rip.
Yeah, off rip. Like, yeah, I wasn't a D1 star, but like, look, I played the game. So like, I'm not finna ask you no dumb questions. I'm not finna take your questions and misconstrue your words and make you out to be some type of person. And then thirdly, what I tell them is, you can trust me. Like, I'm going to always be quick, short, and sweet. Like, I'm going to get right to the point. I'm not going to ask you a lot of dumb questions. Like, no dumb questions at all. I'm going to just get my questions off, what I need from my story, then I'm gone. Like, some reporters will sit there and ask you, like, 20 minutes worth of questions. I'm coming in, big game today. You had a crucial drop. Yo, what was going through your mind in that play call? Like, coming to you, been a long game. You hadn't been getting the ball the way you had envisioned. Then you did get that opportunity. Can you just walk us through, like, your mindset and everything, how it all played out today? I'm not going to ask you, hey, how you dropped that ball, bro, on fourth down? Like, I know he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I'm phrasing the question to where it's not a yes or no answer, and to where it's like, give me a little bit of context of what was going on. Give me context around, like, what's happening and why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Like, and I think, like, a lot of people ask us, why y'all ask the same questions every week? It's like, well, first, before you ask me that dumb question, ask yourself this: are they doing the same thing every week on the field? Is there a new way to spin that same question? Like, and then come ask me why y'all ask that same question. Like, there's layers to it.
I mean, definitely, bro. There's layers to everything, man. And so you gave us a little bit of insight on how you really go about tough questions and really dive into get sort of the answer that you want, man. The thing that gets me sometimes is when these reporters ask, like, how did you feel about this fumble? Or how did you feel about this drop? Like, you see it on my face, bro. Like, I'm upset, bro.
Right.
And you making me more upset with that question.
It's 25 reporters in the locker room, give or take, right, after a game?
Sure.
All right. Only 25 reporters get to see how you feel, though, in that moment. Their job is to tell all their listeners, their people at home, how you felt. So they have to ask you that question. And why it may be a dumb question to you, it's not a dumb question, because who knows how you're going to react. And you just may get that stale, like, got to do better. I hate losing. All right, well, people at home take that some type of way. Or, you know what, we got to do this. Oh, people at home take that like, oh, he's a leader. You know, he's this and that. Like, people at home want to hear from you. Like, fantasy, like, dog, the NFL, man, I don't care how y'all spend it. Y'all can say y'all don't care about fantasy, y'all don't care about parlays, etc. There's millions of people that do though. And what the game is doing from the top down is they're getting people invested based on parlays and fantasy, because you know what? One person may have one favorite team out of 32. Why would they care about these other 31 games? Oh, you know why? Fantasy football, gambling, parlays, etc. It gets them invested. And you know them ratings they get y'all paid, it get them random people who care about their parlays watching this 7 o'clock game on Thursday night where two scrub teams may be playing. So it's
ratings
like
get the owners paid. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Owners get y'all paid. You get what I'm saying? Like it keeps them around. So it's like that's why I think that when it comes to like questioning and things like that, like y'all may not like, so yeah, like you say, like, you know how I feel, all right, but people at home don't know how you feel. You got hurt today, I know you walking around with a boot on and it don't look good for next week, but there's somebody with you on a fantasy football team that want to know what the odds look like next week. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta know.
So do you expect us to really be sitting here thinking about the person at home that's thinking about their fantasy football
I did
team?
I did a bad job of bringing context to that. There's a whole set of sides of people who enjoy watching this. Like you got the gamblers, you got the parlay, you got the fantasy football people, you got the diehard fans that just hang on to every single word. I can't tell you how many times I've been on a plane traveling to a Vikings game and I see random fans pulling up weekly press conferences, whole 15-minute press conferences with one player. I don't do that like outside of the teams that I cover. Like I'm a Rams fan, but I'm not going to go see what Matthew Stafford had to say on Wednesday at 5 o'clock and listen to 25 minutes. Yeah. But there are fans out there that are hanging on to every single word. Like their life evolves around you guys during the football season. Y'all lose on Sunday, they pissed all work week. They got to go to work on Monday. Hey, what happened to your Vikings? You know what I'm saying? So it's like people are like, they're very invested. So like they want to know. So if they can feel that heartbreak, that pain in your face and your answer, they like, damn, I feel bad for him. Like instead of being like he should have caught it, it'd be like, man, he got a lot going on. Like we do need to like think about it is just a game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So good reporters help bring out all those stories.
Man, you know what? I ain't never thought of it like that, bro. You bringing a different perspective to it for me, man. Because you know, you got to care about the fans a little bit,
You do. They the ones who, okay, you talk about the owners and the parlays and the gambling, they get the owners paid. Yeah. Well, people attending the games, watching the games, they get y'all paid. They get new TV deals. They help with y'all salaries, right?
I need somebody to buy my jersey. That's direct pay. Buy my jersey.
But see what I'm saying? If you become one with the media and you say Marshawn Lynch, now granted he's a Hall of Famer, like he was an elite level player, but say there's a player like Matt Collins with the Patriots. My man's going viral now for his Facebook, you know, being a mechanic and solving problems on his own. He's creating a brand of his own based on his media access. Players just got to learn to use that to their advantage.
Definitely, 100%, man. It's so many avenues that you could go down, but when you be able to connect with the media on a level that not too many others are doing, most people, you know, they come with the cliche answers. They come with the attitude as hurry up and get this interview over with. But if you actually connect face to face with this person and put out your personality through this person's story, it could take you a long way. But absolutely, it's two sides to that as well.
Hell yeah.
We need media people and reporters to have some empathy, like you said, about the way you ask your questions and formulate your questions, and really be able to connect to have the best possible outcome from this interview. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it takes both of us to work together to really go to where we want to go.
I think y'all need to do a better job of identifying what media member is there for you, because you got to realize, like, we're not always like there for you. Like, we still got a job to do. Like, we can't be soft on you all the time. Like,
we didn't realize that.
Yeah, you feel me? But I also think that there's levels to it. Like, there are certain media members that you like. I rock with him more. I know if I open up to him in a personal setting, tell him some personal details, I can trust him with my words to put things out accurately. Whereas there's a group of other reporters that, you know, they just there for today's soundbite. They could care less about how you feel. So I think if y'all give reporters a chance to kind of like see a different side of you. Be like, yeah, let's chop it up. How you doing? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, how's life doing for you? You know what? Meet me at this coffee shop or whatever. Let's break bread. Like, I got some other stories I want to talk to you about, some other things that I want to do in my free time. Let's see how you can't help me out and see if how I can't help you out. But there's rarely any of that, like, compromising, because y'all there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. most days. By the time we come around, it's either before practice or after practice. Y'all either having a lock-in or y'all ready to get to that last meeting so y'all can go home. So there's very little time for y'all to be like, you know what, let me build a rapport with this relationship. Like Jonathan Grenard, that's my dog. We talk about everything, like life, wife, kids, etc. So he's opening up, showing me a picture about his house that he's building in Georgia and the levels he's adding on, pool, etc. And so I had asked him a question about an injury, but I kind of went about it in a way to where, like, I knew I was gonna get the answer that I was looking for, but it wasn't. I was like, man, I thought you was done for the season, blah blah blah. He was like, man, you saw me squirming around, I did too. And then I asked him another question, like, oh, so this what happened? And he's like, I see what you're doing there.
He's trying to take the background.
He's like, I see what you're doing there. I was like, I just want to know. I said, it's nothing that I'm going to report, and I haven't reported it yet. And he was like, well, I'll tell you. He's like, but I treat all y'all reporters the same. He's like, you never know. And so for me, it's kind of made me feel some type of way, because it's just like,
you gotta protect yourself, though.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's also like, for me, it's like I'm having conversations with them like you in the locker room. Like we breaking bread. We talking about, like, growing up black and things that we all went through. So it's kind of like, I think that I'm not the same reporter as these other guys. Now, granted, I understand you don't know that until you've been outside the locker room.
I only mentioned this locker room, sir.
Exactly.
I don't know you like that.
And so that's what I'm saying. That's where I wish players sometimes would take that initiative, be like, you know what? Let's go meet up outside. Let's go chop it up. Let's really see who you are. And I've had players.
So is that something that reporters can't do? Like, do you think it's not your place to be like, hey, we should meet up at this coffee shop or something like that?
You can always ask, and they can be like, yeah, I got you. And then they be gone in the off season. They busy and stuff like that. But it's also like the team personnel don't want you around their players if they ain't around.
Fair enough.
If they find out you hanging out with their players without them around, they gonna be like, it's a little conflict of interest here, ain't it? Like,
snatch your credentials away.
You should be leaving them alone. But it's like, if you build up a rapport with that player and he inviting you to stuff, like Justin Jefferson, I got invited to a New Year's party. Forgot what game it was. They had lost, but I got invited out that same night. I was like, I ain't going. Like, they just lost.
Let me find out you got a little clout out. Are you hanging out with JJ?
I got his number. You feel me? And so I went to him that next week. I said, dog, I got invited to your party, but it wasn't personally from you. And I said, I didn't want to show up. He's like, bruh, you got my number. Pull up. Yeah. He's like, I would have known what type of time you was on when you got there. And I was like, I get that. I said, but boundaries, dog. I was like, y'all had just lost. I didn't personally get the invite from you, so I'm not just finna show up at your party. Although I did get an invite from several other players, and they like, yo, just come. Like, like, bring the vibe, blah, blah. And I'm just like, it's good to have that, that interaction. Like, I got other guys that be like, come on, let's go out to go get something to eat. Like, whenever you want. Like, I have coaches that I go out and go get something to eat with, but it's just like, I feel like there are time and places for those things.
See, I will attest to the fact that you are an easy person to talk to, for sure.
you know.
But all these reporters ain't like that.
I know.
But, I had a personal experience where a guy reached out this past off season. Just want to know more about this podcast and what I was doing after my career. So that interest that he took in what I had going on, that led me to have further conversations with him as well. And, he ain't as easy to talk to as you or anything, but we were able to establish some type of rapport to where it's like, okay, if I see you, like, I rock with you, and maybe we do some work in the future. And I hopped on his podcast not too long ago. So, yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that.
And you also got a glimpse to see how reporters work, because we did an interview on this podcast channel with Jonnu Smith.
Right.
We talked about his brother being incarcerated, going to get out of jail next year, all this stuff, finally being able to come see him play. We put that interview out on a Wednesday, something like that, Wednesday afternoon. You see Buddy's article Thursday morning at 3 a.m. talking about Jonnu brother and this whole. Now, granted,
I reached out to him. I said, "You trying to steal our thunder?" Now I see what you're doing. But I was just playing, all in good fun.
But that's how media work.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So we all get stories. We all kind of figure out what's going on in life, and then it's like, all right, well, he got this nugget. Let me dive a little deeper. You know what I'm saying? Because in our world, everybody always be like, "Well, you trying to be Adam Schefter? You trying to be Tom Pelissero or Shams Charania?" It's like, we'll never be those guys. Like, they talking directly to head coaches, general managers. Some of these people leaking information because they want other teams to find out. Like, it's chess, like not checkers. We ain't getting to that level. Like, we got people behind the scenes that be like, all right, Adam Schefter just tweeted this out. All right, shoot, let me hit my source up. Blah, blah, blah. All right, can't confirm this is what's said. You know what I'm saying? So it's like different layers to everything.
Hey, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really took a deep dive into how the media operates and why some of us athletes may get a little frustrated. Here's a specific case on that exact thing. George Pickens getting frustrated with Richard Sherman. Click the link right here.
Stand for the truth, otherwise take a knee. Made it to the league, now we gotta take the lead. Must be two sides.